Climate changes. Climate changes is burning issues that affects the environment and the human society. Rising the temperature, sea level rise, extreme weather events etc. are just some of the impact of climate changes that we are always experiencing. In this essay, we will explore the causes and the impact of climate change, as well as the strategies for mitigating and adapting to its effect. Causes: greenhouse gas emission, burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and other human activities release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing global temperatures to rise. Human activities are the main cause of climate change, particularly the release of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere, causing global temperatures to rise and leading to a range of impacts on the environment and human society. Impacts of climate change. Agriculture: changes in temperature and precipitation patterns can affect crop yields and food security. Health: heat waves, air pollution, and the spread of disease can all have negative impacts on human health. Infrastructure: rising sea levels and extreme weather events can damage infrastructure and disrupt transportation and communication systems. Climate change has a range of impacts on different sectors, including agriculture, health, and infrastructure. These can be severe and long-lasting, affecting the well-being of people and communities around the world. Mitigation strategies: reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, improving energy efficiency, and reducing waste can all help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Carbon capture and storage. Capturing carbon dioxide emissions from power plants and other sources and storing them underground can help to reduce emissions. Sustainable land use: protecting forest and other natural ecosystems can help to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Adaptation strategies. Building resilient infrastructure. Designing infrastructure that can withstand extreme weather events and rising sea levels can help to reduce the impacts of climate change. Developing early warning systems. Providing early warning systems for extreme weather events and other climate-related hazards can help to reduce the risks to people and communities. Protecting natural ecosystems. Preserving natural ecosystems such as wetlands and forests can help to reduce the impacts of climate change and provide important benefits such as carbon sequestration and biodiversity. International climate agreements. Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement is an international treaty signed in 2015 that aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Green Climate Fund. The Green Climate Fund is a financial mechanism established under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change to support developing countries in their efforts to mitigate and adapt to climate change. Intended nationally determined contributions. Intended nationally determined contributions are the pledges made by countries under Paris Agreement to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. National climate policies. United States. The United States has committed to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions by 50 to 52% below 2005 levels by 2030. China has pledged to peak its greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. European Union. The European Union has committed to reducing its greenhouse gas emissions by at least 55% below 1990 levels by 2030. National climate policies are important for driving action on climate change at the country level. Many countries have an important role to play in addressing climate change, both in reducing their own greenhouse gas emissions and in promoting sustainable practices throughout their supply chains. Reporting and transparency are also important for holding corporations accountable for their sustainability performance. Public awareness. Media and social media. The media and social media can play an important role in raising awareness about climate change and promoting action. Education and outreach. Education and outreach programs can help to increase public understanding of climate change and its impacts. Community engagement. Engaging with local communities and stakeholders can help to build support for climate action and promote sustainable practices. Climate justice. Vulnerable communities. Climate change disproportionately affects vulnerable communities such as indigenous peoples and low-income populations. Environmental racism. Environmental racism refers to the disproportionate impact of environmental hazards on communities of color. Equity and justice. Climate justice seeks to address these inequalities and prompt a more equitable and just transition to a low-carbon economy. Technological innovations. Renewable energy technological such as solar and wind power are becoming increasingly cost competitive and are rapidly expanding. Carbon capture and storage. Carbon capture and storage technologies can help to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from power plants and other sources. Smart grids. Smart grids can help to improve the efficiency and reliability of electricity grid, enabling greater integration of renewable energy sources. Technological innovations are an important part of the solution to climate change. Renewable energy technologies such as solar and wind power are becoming increasingly cost competitive and are rapidly expanding. Carbon capture and storage and smart grids are also important technologies for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving the efficiency of the electricity grid. Conclusion. Climate change is a pressing issue that requires urgent action. Mitigating and adapting to the impacts of climate change requires a range of strategies, including reducing greenhouse gas emissions, building resilient infrastructure, and protecting natural ecosystems. International climate agreements, national climate policies, and corporate responsibility are all important for driving action on climate change. Public awareness and education, climate justice, and technological innovations are also important for promoting a more equitable and sustainable future. In conclusion, climate change is a complex and urgent issue that requires action at all levels of society. By working together and adopting a range of strategies, we can mitigate the impacts of climate change and build a more sustainable and equitable future for all.